Good morning. You find me having breakfast at the hotel. Dodgy foreign sausages. Anyway, today is all about going to Herculaneum, the ruins that are there, meant to be better preserved than the ones at Pompeii, but not as big. So let's see how that goes. Okay, Herculaneum. Slightly different from Pompeii. It's in the middle of the city and it's much deeper. You can see the difference immediately is that there are at least 2 or 3 stories for each of the houses rather than just the one, as everything in Pompeii. It's because it was buried under a lot of mud and much better preserved. Let's go and find out what it's got to offer. Okay, so I'm down at what would have been the beach. This grass here would have been the sea lapping up against these buildings here. And although I'm the only visitor today, I don't think I'm quite alone. Okay, so I'm in the cafe. I've got my audio guide. So this is where you come for your fast food. The bar area where the bloke could be serving. Then over here are the little rooms where you go to eat it around the back. So this is the big pot where you would keep all the stew or whatever hot, and that little bit next to it is the there is the fireplace. So obviously that big pot there would be there most of the time, keeping warm. You'd scoop out whatever, serve it to your customers, and they would go in there and eat it. Cool. Here on the wall, making sure everything's nice and fresh in the restaurant, is our old friend Priapus. We've seen him in the other videos doing his thing. Okay, so I'm up at the top end of town now. This is where you get an idea of the difference between Herculaneum and Pompeii. This wall behind me is about twice as high as our house, so about 20. That represents where the ground level used to be when they found this excavation, so you get an idea of how deep it was buried under the mud, and therefore why it's been so well preserved. All the buildings are preserved to 2 stories, whereas in Pompeii they're preserved just to the 1 story, because that was kind of flattened as the ash came across, whereas this was buried by the mud and sat underneath it for years. Okay, so we're outside the thermal baths in Herculaneum, and these are crazy well preserved. Come on, have a look at this. The floor, it's a mosaic of sea creatures. This would be the second. And also ceiling, and then get in. Nuts. Crazy, yeah. Okay, so this is nuts. This is a blacksmith shop. That's the pot he had full of water to cool down his bits and pieces when he made them. This is the crazy bit. That is the original roof. It's like it was put up a couple of years ago. That's crazy. Blown me away. I like that sort of thing though. Wait a minute, ignore that. That's the original bit. Still very good. But yeah, that was actually put up a couple of years ago. Never mind. This has been Big John Shep's Herculaneum Report. Thanks for watching.